Hey, there's my boy. You know what? Your people are here. You want to see them? They're over there. Still doesn't care. I don't know. Anyway, I do. Hey everybody, it's Robert Earl, your desert chef, or the guy that's out here at the Eco Ranch Sustainable Living Education Center, because I'm posting to both, saying hello from far west Texas. Now, I'm going to do a video today, and we're going to go into uncharted territory, or the undiscovered country. Ever since the movie came out, I love that term, undiscovered country. Well, we are going into an undiscovered country for me. Today, what I'm going to be doing is smoking Muscovy ducks. Alright, anybody can smoke a duck, right? Yeah, if you've got a duck with the skin and the fat intact. However, when I try to, every time I've tried to pull the feathers off of a Muscovy duck, it's like, oh, I don't know, a 3-hour process, something like that. By the way, this is the Chaos Kitchen as usual, if you're used to any of my videos. It's a Chaos Kitchen, prominently featuring whatever beer was cheap this week. But anyway, Muscovy duck, I can't pluck them. I've tried scalding them, it doesn't work. I've tried scalding them with a feather plucker, doesn't work. Now, you know, somewhere out there's an expert that's sitting in his residential house or his mother's basement that's going to tell me how easy it is to do because he saw a video of some guy doing something easy. Life is a lot different out here, folks, when you are here doing it, or when you are actually doing it, whether you're in your mother's basement or in your backyard. It's different. I can't do it. I don't want advice on how to, because I can't. I just can't. I've tried everything possible. Trust me, I have. I'm pretty good at figuring stuff out and MacGyvering things. Can't do it. So, at any rate, what I'm left with are skinned Muscovy ducks. Now, Muscovy duck meat is very, very lean. The fat that's in them, I'm going to pull one out of here. The fat that's in them is in the skin, as in most ducks. Now, once you get done skinning one, it's kind of a bad example because occasionally when I skin, I accidentally hit the breast meat. Now that's not going to really affect this duck. But I'm left with a duck like this. I'll weigh him just, in fact, I think I'll weigh all of them, but I think it's about 3 pounds, this duck. Might be 4. That's including the neck. Now I left the neck on because there's a lot of flavor in the neck. And I would rather smoke the neck for the people that are getting these and have them throw it away than have them wish they had a little more meat, because there's excellent meat on the neck and it will be smoked all the way through. But at any rate, you can pretty much see I'm left with a little bit of skin. There's no real fat. Now the fat I was able to salvage, it was good pure fat. I've set that aside and I'll get to that in a moment. But here, thank you. So here's the duck. So what am I going to do? How am I going to smoke the duck properly and keep it moist? Well, I've got several ideas, like I said, undiscovered country. One thing I have is I have an awful lot, or I had an awful lot of lamb. Okay, you talk, you tell it. Lamb caul fat. Now I'm going to take the caul fat as I get this the duck ready. I'm going to put the caul fat on top of the duck. Let it melt and crisp up. It'll be something else folks can eat, or I could eat, but it'll also melt the fat down over the duck. Now also, I have to have a way of hanging the duck in the smokehouse. So what I have is I've got these ham bags here. Now I think there's 13 ducks. I've got 13 ham bags. The duck will go in the ham bag. But also what I'm going to do, as I cleaned the ducks and opened the abdominal cavities, there's a lot of fat inside that abdominal cavity, and also around the gizzard. Let's see, I'm trying to show you, I don't know if you can see it, but that is all the duck fat that I was able to salvage. It was pure duck fat, and I've got it over here on the wok burner, just simmering down real slowly, so I have that. I also have some pork lard here. And what I'm going to do is get that all melted and mixed up together. I'm going to put it in this pot, put the ham bags in, soak the ham bags, get my ducks all seasoned with my spice mix. Now all my spice mix is salt, pepper, and smoked paprika, but not much smoked paprika. coat it with the spice mix, saving the spice mix, of course. Get them in the handbags, and what's left of the spice mix goes on the outside of the handbag. Now, hopefully, that will be enough to smoke it properly. Now, also the leftover lard and duck fat I'll also pour over the handbags. Hopefully, that's enough to keep the duck moist. But if it isn't, I'm going to take my big cast iron pot. That's why the Ham's beer is sitting here. I'm going to take my big cast iron pot, put it over the smoker, and put 3 or 4 cans of Ham's beer in there to boil and put moisture in the air. Let's hope that's enough. Let's get going. Now you can see already the smokehouse is hard at work here. Look at that. It's hard at work getting ready to smoke these ducks. Now what I've got in there is just some wood. I'm going to just, firewood essentially. I'm going to get that down to coals that will ignite something else. I've got some cut up apple wood here ready for it. And also, as I was planing down the lintel that we're going to use, the apple wood beam lintel, I saved all the shavings from it, put some water in to soak them down. So I've got this bucket of shavings, applewood shavings. I've got some applewood, got access to a lot more if I need it. So what we're waiting on now is this to burn down to coals. And I'm going to hang the handbags before it's smoking real good, because that is choking to walk in there. Hang the handbags with the ducks in them. Throw the applewood on top. Throw the applewood shavings on top. Cover it. Put my pot of beer in and lock her up, and let's see what happens. You know, one of the most important things about cooking is timing. Knowing how to time stuff so it's all done at the same time, instead of having something cooling over here that's going to be served ice cold and something burning over here. And years ago, decades ago, I learned from people from chefs and cooks, that the only way you're going to get your timing is by practice, experience. So those of you that have a new boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, and the meals aren't exactly perfect yet, it's a matter of timing. Timing takes years. Give them the years. Somebody had to teach Michael Jordan how to dribble a basketball. Someone had to teach me how to cook. And part of the timing is getting stuff together like you want it. Now, one of the good side benefits of, and if you folks in the South, you know where I'm going right now. One of the good side benefits of melting down any kind of fat, whether it be pork or lamb, or I don't know if goat fat would work, or duck fat, is you get these marvelous cracklings, they call them in the South, or chicharrones. Now, chicharrones are a little bit different than these, but what this is just that bit of tissue that is left after you extract the fat out of it. And we're going to take right here our trusty Ralph's chicken seasoning. A little bit of that on my duck cracklings. Now I've got a snack for later. And it's time for me to put the pork lard in. Now what I'm going to do with the pork lard that you won't see, but what I'm going to do with the pork lard is I'm going to put the pork lard in the duck fat, melt it down, then cool it all down to the consistency of honey. That's when it's going to go on the bags, and that way it'll coat the bags and actually coat the outside of the duck. We'll get to that in a few. We'll get to that next. All right, folks, this is still a mess, but you can see. Here's my handbags. I've got one left to put in the handbag, and I thought I'd show you that. Now this is my little piece of caul fat. I'm going to set that aside. I have to take the handbag, and they will, believe it or not, they stretch way out like a pair of nylons. In fact, I'm not sure that's not what they're made out of. For some reason, I thought these were 100% cotton, but it doesn't matter. They've got a lot of stretch to them. Now, the best way to fill one is to go all the way to the bottom, just like if you were a woman putting on a pair of nylons. All the way to the bottom. Now, I want the cavity up, the neck down, so that's what I'm doing there. The neck is going to fold up over the back as we come up. And you know, just I feel like Andrew Zimmern when I do this, because Andrew Zimmern, stuff always screws up with him. You know, he goes fishing and they don't catch any fish. He is a damn good shot, though, so when he goes hunting, he always gets something unless they just don't see anything. Now, the caul fat, I stretched the caul fat so the majority of it was over the breast, so it would leak down to the breast. There has to be a little bit here to catch on the back. And then I just make sure I got my hand on the caul fat. Pull this bag up nicely, like so. Pull the bag up nicely. Mercury's getting all pissed off at me. Tie it like so. And now when I take it into the smoker, I'm going to use this tail and tie. Now the average weight on these was 4 3/4 pounds for 10 of them. 3 of them were in the 2.5 pound range. So 4 3/4, and then I've got the 3 small ones, and we got the 3 small ones basically for Debbie and I. I've sold 10 of these to my friends. 3 are going to be for us because we just don't have room in the freezer. So we're going to go hang these right now as soon as I wash my hands. Oh, by the way, down here in front of me, I had forgotten initially for 2 things. First of all, I misspoke. I said chicharrones. Chicharrones are pork skin with the fat attached. Cracklings are what I made. Cracklings are the little pieces of tissue that the fat was all attached to. I've got a nice bag of cracklings. They taste really good. Another thing that I said, I was going to use strictly beer. On a lot of these, or on all of these rather, I had a marinade mix of salt and apple juice. I've saved the salt apple juice mixture to go in there, and then if I need more liquid, I'll put beer in, so that leaves me more to drink. So I'm going to see if I can carry this 40 pounds of meat out to the smokehouse, which is 50 yards away, and we'll get going. Well, as you can see, the smokehouse is working. Now, to save me from breathing too many fumes, I let that wood I put in at first burn down to coals, hung the ham bags, then I put my apple wood on top, and the apple wood is now building up smoke. It's going to burst into flames. And then once it bursts into flames, then I throw the shavings on to keep it smoking, and I can control the temperature. I have my handy dandy, I don't know if you can see me over here, I have my handy dandy temperature control valve. Temperature control valve goes into a broken out bottle, and that controls the amount of air that goes into the smokehouse. Now let me show you the bags real quick. Okay, don't know if you can see, probably just all smoke. All I see in the viewfinder is smoke, but I have 13 in there, and right up here is my handy dandy wireless thermometer. Now it's a meat thermometer that's designed to stick in your roasts, but if you hang the sensor inside the smokehouse, it'll give you an accurate reading. And that's the transmitter, and it transmits way over yonder to the patio where I'm going to sit in a minute and have a beer, even though it's early in the morning. 119 degrees inside right now, 120 with the door open. As soon as I see flames there, we close the door and we're off and running. Should take about 4 hours. Well, I finished smoking everything. Now that was last night, and I put up all of the ducks. I wanted to show you guys this one here, and let's see how it turned out. So I think the ham bags did a tremendous job of keeping the moisture in. Now also putting the apple juice and the lard on the outside seemed to help quite a bit as well, because they are extremely moist. They did cook very slow. The temperature they cooked at, or smoked at I should say, was somewhere in the neighborhood of 150 degrees for most of the day. Now, I kicked that temperature up towards the end of the day a bit because I wanted to be sure that it did get actually cooked all the way through. Now let me zoom in on this. So you can watch me try to cut it up, and let's see what we got. All right. Now this is one we were going to keep for ourselves. It's one of the smaller ones. The average weight when they went in was 4 3/4 pounds, which is really great. that they were all about the same size, except for there were 4 small ones. So I had 10 that were 4 3/4 and 4 small ones. This is the smallest one. This is what happened to that piece of caul fat. It didn't completely melt, so that means that the meat didn't get a chance to dry out. So let's just go right down the breast here and take the breast off. I have to turn it a little bit. I can't really point it towards you as I cut. Let's just fillet the breast as I would fillet the breast off of a chicken when I'm cutting the chicken up. Let's see what we got here. Oh my. There we go. That is done. It's smoked all the way through, nicely done. Now I'm going to take the breast off of this one here, and I'm going to save that for another meal. Tonight we are going to make an Asian duck stir fry. I found a wonderful recipe online. Well, I'd say it looks pretty good. It does have that pink slight hint of rareness. That's what you need in duck. Completely edible though, fully cooked, completely edible. I am quite impressed. However, as we all know, there's only one way to tell. Let's take a little taste right here. All right, this is going to be difficult to say. It is a heavy smoke flavor that's very mild. In other words, the apple wood or the fruit wood did a great job. So, that is it. I'm afraid that nothing more to say. It worked fine, and I would urge you to give it a try also. The apple juice was a great marinade, and was also a good way of putting moisture in. So with that, I think I'm going to get to work on dinner. And I will see you next time. I'm the Desert Chef, and I'm also Robert Earl out here at the Eco Ranch Sustainable Living Education Center. Saying see you later.